Today we're talking about telephone etiquette for successful business calls. Well, today with mobile living and social lifestyles, this has become a lost art in some cases. On-the-go communication by emojis, likes, posts, tweets, text has us accustomed to speaking in sound bites. So this can actually impact our telephone etiquette and the success of our business calls. So in today's whiteboard session, I want to share some quick reminders of do's and don'ts, as well as some bonuses for conference calls and video calls. So let's look at some do's. Number one, remember to schedule a time with the person you're going to have the call with or the group of people. And be sure to block the time. Sometimes people schedule the call and they forget to block it on their calendar. And then if other people are scheduling calls on their behalf, can sometimes double book calls. So we want to avoid that. You also want to agree on the purpose of the call and the outcome. Like, why are you even having the call and what do you hope to leave knowing or deciding? Also, provide prep materials in advance if appropriate. Maybe do they need to review some spreadsheets or numbers or reports? Also, be sure to send reminders. Again, with on-the-go lifestyles, people are a lot of times not in front of their email and they may forget. So by sending a reminder, it helps just remind them that the call is scheduled. Also, start the call friendly. I don't know if you've ever participated on a call and maybe someone is rushed or maybe you're rushed and you have things on your mind and maybe you're frustrated from something that happened before the call started and you bring that energy in. It's just not a very good way to start the call. So as your reminder is be sure to give yourself time to disperse any energy or any frustrations before you start the call. Also review, when you start the call, review again the purpose of the call and being mindful of how much time. If it's a 30-minute call, keep it to a 30-minute call. If it's a 1 hour, leave it at a 1 hour. Also stay on time during the call. And then be sure to follow the agenda. Then wrap up that call with a follow-up. See if it's appropriate to schedule another follow-up call while you have the person or other people on the line, and also leave with action items. What are people supposed to leave doing? Many times people who attend calls don't like to go to them because action never results. They're like, no one has taken minutes or tracked what is supposed to come from the call. So the don'ts are, again, don't answer the call angry. Don't make the call angry. Don't answer a call angry. That just sets up a bad tone from the beginning. Also, don't show up late. If this is your meeting or if you're a participant in the meeting, some people say if you show up on time, you're late. So be sure to be there early and review materials and why the purpose of the call. Don't use slang. Many times today, people are working in teams where they're located all over the world. So when we begin using slang, other people may not understand what you are talking about. Also, don't disturb those around you. Again, going back to the mobile lifestyle, maybe we're taking calls, maybe in shared locations, or maybe it's not normally in our office location. So just be aware that if there are other people around you, because if you're using headphones or something like that, you don't want to disturb those around you. Also, don't show up unprepared. Again, if you take the time to compute how much it costs to have a meeting, whether it's your time plus the other person's time. Also, say if you're on a project, that time adds up and it costs people. So you want to show up being prepared for the information or the decisions you need to bring to the table. Also, don't invite others without an okay. You know, sometimes there are certain things that you have to talk about under a confidentiality agreement, or maybe it's just certain things that's not appropriate for other people. So if you want to invite other people, just make sure it's okay. And don't record without approval. This is actually illegal in some cases, and maybe even most, if not all. So if you record the session, just make sure to announce and make sure everyone is aware that you're recording. And also as a bonus, today, more and more, again, with the mobile lifestyle living and work environments, we do a lot of conference calls and video calls. So here are just 3 things to remember. 1, confirm that you have a strong internet service. So if you're doing these calls, they're typically by internet. So if it's internet service or wireless service, make sure it has enough strength to make the call. Otherwise, it'll end up being choppy. Also ensure people know how to access. I mean, many people have been doing conference calls and video calls for a very long time. And then for some people, it's new to them. They may not realize that you have to download an app or download a software or how to get dialed in or called in. So just make sure everyone is aware on how to get on the call, because that can really hijack a meeting if you're trying to get people on the call. Also be aware of tone and facial expressions, specifically for conference calls. The tone, maybe you're making a face or some tone comes across that maybe the recipient perceives that maybe you don't intend. And also for video calls, your facial expressions can carry as well. So just that can impact the receiver. So these are just a few quick reminders and bonuses. And if you need additional tips for telephone etiquette to make your business call successful, then visit our website at projectmanager.com.